Inside I heard the trumpets call, a salute to the champions on the wall. And in the jazz of squalls and in passion brawls she danced.
I believe it was Friday morning is where we are now. I think that's exactly a week.
3 days?
A week since you all kind of came together to deal with stuff, or may have been maybe a week and a half. Maybe a week and a half actually. So it's been a busy week for sure. So that's where we are now. You guys have slept and are getting ready to, I guess, start your next day. So again, who would like to wake up first and get their day rolling?
We wake up early. Rock, paper, scissors.
Shoot.
Oh, wait, I was too late. Ready?
Yeah, you cheated.
One,
That's right.
And you didn't even do it
I
right.
did the same one.
Because you still drew. Yeah.
You went-
So I'll wake up at 8. Anyways.
Yeah, right.
We're
Just
usually
beat
the
them all.
first
Are
to
you
get
the
up,
earliest? Are you the earliest then?
And you are an early bird a lot.
A lot
Right.
of time I am. You guys keep keeping me out late.
That's right. Dealing with stuff.
like,
Actually, you
I'm
got in
supposed
actually
to
pretty
be out.
early last night because
Right.
you had gone home to just do some sketches and things like that.
Okay, fine.
That's right. You're so silly.
What is that?
You shooting?
Dynamite. That beats everything.
Cheating.
Hand grenade.
I did this.
Dynamite
Even though he
beats
won.
everything,
Oh,
right?
shit.
It beats
Well, he
everything
has
except
paper.
scissors, right? I don't know.
Rock, paper,
Okay.
scissors,
So silly.
Spock, lizard.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
Rock,
wait.
rock or
Were you
something.
paper?
Yeah,
I was a
yeah.
pencil. No, I'm just kidding.
Mhm. So that's where we were there. So who's getting up first?
I guess
Oh,
Darwin.
Okay,
is.
so
Well, I don't know. No, I'm just kidding.
yeah.
Let's
Good
see.
thing we didn't do it 3 ways.
Yeah.
Just trying to make sure things that Darn went through recently. We dealt with all the stuff. Talked with Volt. Idea of armor.
Right.
I want to say there was like a couple other things.
You had
that
reloaded
was-
your gun,
Right.
so you've taken care of that. Della had basically had dispelled the cloak, so
Yeah,
they
the
burned
unraveling thing.
Right.
Right.
She's unraveled the spell. So we really don't have anything in particular going on right now.
Yeah.
You said something about a personal day that got kind of cut short, but
True.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Darwin.
That being said, I think it's been a little while since I've had like actual work.
Not in the bed.
I'm not sure.
Uh,
Well, you're getting ready to build armor for him, so he
right.
should be paying you for it. I mean, he is a friend, but you do need money to live off of.
True.
He is, I believe, procuring all of the supplies that you're going to need. So really, what he would be paying you for is your time, which, is valuable.
Yeah.
So there you go.
You say that, the first thing I thought was, man, I sure wish Miranda would think that.
For sure.
My presence is yeah.
That being said, though, it's been a while since I've actually been able to wake up this early. I think I'll just go around real quick, normal morning stuff, maybe get a bowl of cereal or something, check on little odds and ends around the house, check the Paranetter net, because I think I have a little computer at the house,
Right.
See if there's anything new. Other than that, I'll go over whatever designs I thought up of the previous day just to check.
Right. You basically start, finalizing your designs for the drawings. I can't remember, Volt, whether you were going to send this stuff to his house or whether you were going to have it delivered to your place and then deliver it to him. I can't remember what we said.
I'll pick it up from his.
Oh, pick it up and take it to him? Or what?
Oh, the materials?
The materials.
Yeah, we're gonna, because I don't want him involved
Right.
in the paper trail, so I was going to have him
That's what I've
dropped off
Yeah,
at my
it's
warehouse.
I was gonna say I thought that's what you had.
I thought that
decided
was too, but I wasn't 100% sure. All right, so you spend some time, check the moped. It's still running very well. You kind of take some time to do a little bit of research because that's what you were doing, and
Right.
maybe probably some of the other potions and alchemical things that you're doing, maybe a few weapons. You spend most of the morning doing that, a little research. It's very peaceful and relaxing. You're able to do
Thank
a little.
goodness.
Yeah, right. You get on the Paranet and start looking through. Several people are talking about that a couple more people of the Paranetters have disappeared in New Orleans. I think they're up to about 7 or 8 now.
Mm-hmm.
And they're becoming a little concerned that these people have just disappeared. Again, they're not sure if they left town. They're not sure if they were killed or they just have dropped out of sight, gone off the grid for a little while. But there is a little bit of concern that there's about 7 or 8 of them that are just no longer posting. They're no longer hanging out at their typical hangouts. The most recent one is a young girl by the name of Hera. She's 12 years old, and they say that she had the ability to finish people's sentences for them. So they think that maybe she was not annoying, but that basically she has a minor talent where she could maybe see the future for short periods of time. Yeah, really annoying. But she would sometimes know people's names without being told. Just she seemed to be maybe clairvoyant, maybe a little bit of sight of the future. Anyway, she said that her mom. She didn't come home from school yesterday, and so her mom thought she'd maybe gone to hang out with some friends. She didn't come home at all last evening, and she's a little concerned where she is because she normally comes home, even if she hangs out with her friends after school, she should be home by now. And so she's getting a little concerned. The police won't do anything until she's been gone for 24 hours, but her mom is really, really concerned about it. And so there's a bit of a chatter on the Paranet about that. Everybody's talking about looking for her. Several of the minor talents that are able to use divination skills are saying that they're going to rev up the crystals and the different things that they can do to try and locate where this girl is. And so that's where that is right there. But that's about the only thing you find. Everybody else seems to be doing pretty well. Paranet's clicking along, talking about different things, sharing information about how to do spells and where bad places are to stay away from. That's most of what the Paranetters do is they avoid the bad places because they don't really have enough horsepower to take out anything major. So there you go. Who would be next?
I go next.
You're next? Okay.
Okay. So I'm going to get up and pull out my phone book.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to search for a scuba supply store.
There is a scuba supply store. It is not in the... You guys know where she's going. There is...
For a second there, I didn't. I was just very confused.
It's a spear gun. Yeah, that's what it is. Because those are great for vampires. Anyway, well, at least Black Court. You do find a scuba supply store that is located outside of New Orleans, kind of in the Metairie area on the shores of Lake Pontchartrain. It's a little ways away. You're probably going to have to either rent a car. You're not sure if there's a bus really near. You can get a bus that'll take you sort of where it is, but it's going to take a little while, and you have to coordinate the bus schedules and stuff like that. So you can do it, but it's just going to take a little while to get
Call
there.
one of my friends who has a car.
This is not a bad idea.
All right, I'm going to call
Or a
Volt.
wizard with a flying carpet.
Do I know she has a flying car?
She's not a flying carpet.
Oh, okay.
I was like,
Man,
I was
right.
going to. I know.
The
I was
funniest-
I was
one-
in my mind like, wait, what?
One of the
I don't
one of the
remember.
funniest things in the Dresden File books is when Dresden decided he wanted to make a broom to fly on, and he thought this would be a great idea. So he enchants this broom, sits on it, and when it takes off, he promptly swings up underneath because it's just hard to stay on top, and it drags him along the ground and through the bushes and into walls and stuff like that until finally he lets go and says, "Forget it, I'm not doing this." So yeah, most wizards don't do the flying thing too much. So yeah.
That's why Harry Potter had the little things on the end of
That's
the
right.
That's right. So you can
Yeah.
stay balanced, right? So yeah. So okay. So you've found the scuba shop, but you're gonna have to probably get a ride from one of your friends out there.
Okay. I'm going to fire off a couple of emojis of like the scuba diver and like a bag of money to the whole group,
Okay.
and then I'm gonna call Volt. Ring ring.
everybody's phones start going off.
Oh wait, this is probably way earlier than he's singing.
Probably like around 9 o'clock. Emojis.
Bolt didn't have to sleep very much.
That's right. That's true. So you might hear it and go, oh, it's Miranda. Well, or you might go, oh, it's Miranda. Let me check and see what she
I'll
wants.
pick up.
Okay. All right.
Hello, is it like the other night when I called you at work? Hello.
Hey.
Well, about the time your phone goes off, you hear dun 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 on the roll-up door for your warehouse.
Okay. I answer, and I'm gonna talk on the phone while I walk.
Right. So you head down into the actual warehouse. What are you gonna tell her? I'll let you handle that first.
Hey, do you have plans today, and would you like to go to beautiful Metairie?
Is this a
Said
date?
no one ever.
No, well, this is. I was gonna cut you in on my plan to go look for the treasure, Lafitte's treasure out in the...
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I'm down.
Okay.
So it is a date.
It is.
I've
That's what I'm hearing.
So, when are you free?
got someone at the door, but other than that.
About that time, you get to the roll-up door, you roll it up, and there's a guy in a nondescript white van.
I'm going to mute the phone. I'll say, 1 second, I'm going to mute the phone.
He opens the back of the van, and about 14 guys with... No, I'm kidding.
Come on! I'm ready.
Sitting in there is a bunch of boxes of stuff. There's some ballistic nylon, looks like some pieces of Kevlar, things like that. He says, Mr. Kruger, you had an order from our warehouse.
Yeah, that's me.
He says, right, I've got the ballistic nylon.
We don't have to say it all out loud.
Right.
Is that a pizza?
I'll sign.
Sign here. Yeah. And he says, well, where do you want me to put it? He picks up the box and starts carrying it inside. He's kind of a strapping fellow.
Okay.
Wearing, he's wearing what looks like a UPS outfit, but it doesn't say UPS on it. It's like DHL or something like that.
Okay.
So he picks up
just under the stairs.
So you take it under the stairs, and he carries about 3 big old boxes in there, and then there's a lot of other stuff that's kind of in black bags. Plastic. Some of it's plastics. Some of it's also this special gel that when you touch it really fast, it gets hard, but it's for the soft areas underneath the arms and stuff like that. Anyway, so he says, "All right, well, there you go. Thanks, pleasure doing business with you." He heads
I
out.
want to scan the area. Is anybody watching? Is anybody around?
Make an alertness check. Let's see.
I got a 3 total.
You're pretty sure nobody's watching. Your warehouse is a little out of the way, kind of off the beaten path. It's near the water, and this is an area that's kind of fallen into disuse. If you remember in episode 0 when you saw the warehouse we were standing by, it's kind of sketchy down there. There's not a whole lot going on, a lot of grass and some old blown-out factories that nobody's using either. So, yeah, you don't think you see anybody. If anybody was watching, you're pretty sure you could see them. So you think you're pretty safe. He moves all that stuff in there, closes the back doors to his van, hops in, and drives off. And so there you go. Yeah. All right.
Can I make an alertness check to see if I can tell from listening over the phone what's going on?
Oh, I muted the phone.
Oh, he muted it.
So he's
Okay.
back.
Yeah, you ain't hearing
He's
nothing.
back. Yeah.
Oh my god, did you order a pizza? I haven't eaten breakfast yet.
Yeah, I already ate it though.
Oh,
So,
wow.
I'll get another one.
No, that's fine. I don't really... Pizza's not... I'll pick something up on our way out.
Street tacos again. Yay!
Yeah.
Enough for you.
I'll hit a breakfast croissant.
When should I head over?
Literally whenever you're free. I'm free. I it'll take us a little while to get over there and back, and I don't want to spend the whole day doing it. But yeah, I'd like to go get some gear.
Give me an hour and I'll be there.
Okay.
Alrighty, there you go. Volt, before she had called you, you had kind of woken up. You had some really vivid dreams about Jean-Marie and how attractive she was and things you would love to do to her that probably should not be talked about outside of closed doors. A lot of very vivid dreams. You're really thinking about her a lot.
I like it. She spiked my drink.
No, you're not sure, but you definitely been thinking about her a lot, and your general opinion is if she called, you would definitely go and help her because she's definitely someone you would like to see live a lot longer and maybe get to know a little better. But the knocking on the door kind of drives those thoughts away from you, and of course the phone call kind of drives it away too. And by the time you get all the stuff moved into the warehouse, your head's pretty clear. You may have put on a pot of coffee.
Nah.
Nah, okay. I don't know. Were you going to go grab some breakfast or anything? Or what you gonna do?
First, I'm gonna stash the stuff, the loot, in a more secure location.
Do you want to take it over to his place then?
Yeah, actually, that'd probably be good.
Okay.
Can I fit it all in the back of my car?
Yeah, you're gonna have to put it in the back seat and the trunk. I mean, you know, those cars, old cars like that, had big trunks,
Okay.
and so you can get almost all of it in there, and then some of the longer pieces will have to go in the back seat.
I'm gonna take a cover or a tarp or something
Sure.
and put it over the stuff.
You got plenty of those, that's for sure. All right,
Okay.
and then you're gonna head over to see Darwin.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll make that stop before I go to hers.
Right, sure. Della, what are you up to?
Well,
It's probably about
I'm
9 or 10
trying
o'clock.
to find my. All right, so I'm gonna go have breakfast
At
because I haven't
the
had
Stanley
time to just.
over by Muriel's.
No, I'm gonna have it at
Oh.
the Commerce
Oh, the Commerce is a good place. Yes.
over on camp.
Right.
So I'm just gonna have a general run of the mill breakfast there, and
Good
then
breakfast there then.
and then I'm trying to find my paper that has the name of the girl I want to train.
Carla
Yes, but I don't know what I did with my paper.
and her twin brother Carl.
Well, I'm not gonna train Carl.
Who doesn't believe?
I'm just gonna train Carla. I don't want to mess up his mind.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, yeah.
So after I have breakfast, because I haven't felt like I've had a leisurely day for a while.
Right.
Anyway, so that's what I'm going to have breakfast. And I'm going to meander that direction closer to lunchtime.
Right. Okay.
I'll probably work on some ley lines,
stuff. Yeah.
as I'm walking around.
All right. So you could probably actually use you can either use a ritual spell to kind of suss out where the ley lines are, not to be confused with sus being suspect. Suss out where the ley lines are or anything like that, or you could even set up a little ritual thing that would kind of douse in the direction of the ley lines, however you want to do it. But yes, you can definitely trace the ley lines and figure out the direction they're going, what kind of emotions or powers are running through them, because they also have kind of a power to them, how strong they are. With dark energy, light energy, elemental energies. You get a lot of elemental energies towards Jackson Square. You also get a really, really odd sensation down towards Audubon Park as you hit the ley line that runs by there. It's really dark. I don't know. It's not a good emotion, that's for sure. So yeah.
So what about near that tree? Is it dark?
You haven't gone down there. You just
Oh, that's not at Audubon?
No. Well, it is. Yeah, the tree where you saw the guy Lou. Yeah, that's at Audubon Park. But you're way up there, by
Right.
camp.
Yeah,
so
no,
you're
right. So I
you
just-
can. The thing that bothers you is that the dark energy is so strong. You can feel it all the way up at camp.
Okay.
That's why you felt it, because you're like, wow. I remember heading down that direction and getting kind of a weird feeling when I was near the tree. But now you can feel that dark energy has really spread up the ley line.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of an odd sensation. You're a little concerned about that for sure.
Right.
So yeah. So
Well, I guess after that, what time of day is it? I'll go to the.
probably about 10:30.
Would that be too early for Miriam?
Muriel's opens I think around 11
Well,
or
maybe they
12.
open in the morning for brunch, don't they?
Right. Well, on weekends, sure.
Oh.
You're not sure
Okay.
about weekdays. It is Friday, so I don't know. You want to check it out and see if she's there?
Yeah.
Okay. You head to Muriel's to check out and see if Carla is there. You walk in the front door, and there's a girl behind the front of house little place table there, and it is not Carla. So what are you going to say?
Hey, do you know if Carla's working this morning?
Carla. Oh, little short, blonde, 90 pounds soaking wet? Yeah, no, she's not working. She comes on later tonight.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Okay, do you want to leave her a message for or anything like that?
No.
Okay, sure.
Thank you.
Do you need a table?
No, that's all I needed.
Oh, okay. All right.
I appreciate it. Have a good day.
So you leave, and she kind of looks a little puzzled, and that's pretty much where that goes.
Yeah, I'm gonna go back to my house and do some research. However, I would research that into making the ward for my house stronger.
Well, you would know
Is
how
that
to do
all
that.
possible?
You would know how
Oh,
to do
I
that.
do?
You would just have to kind of build it up slowly over time. You might need to reassert the ward. And some
So then
stuff
that's
like
what I'm going to do. I'm going to be working on making the ward in my house a little.
Anything in particular you're going to do with this ward, as in make it where it alerts you if somebody tries to breach it?
Yeah,
or...
I want to be one alerted when someone in fact, I kind of want to extend it to like my fence line.
Okay.
So even before they
Sure,
get to the
Miranda knows
house.
about that.
I
well,
know.
you could set it up so that it would let you know that if somebody crosses the fence line, but you probably don't want to extend the ward out any further. Otherwise, people won't be able to come into your front yard.
Okay, so yeah, I just want to alert at the fence, and then I'll do that first, and then start building the ward to make it stronger.
Do you want to do anything in particular, like have it black out your windows? If people try the front door, it'll electrocute them or stun them or something like that. You can do stuff like that.
Okay.
So, what do you want to do? It just means you're gonna have to pour a little more power. It's gonna
all
take a
of
little
it
longer.
eventually. So that's what I'm saying. I'm gonna work on my little alarm system first,
Okay.
and then I'll add layers. To
All right, so you're putting an alarm ward that's going to go around your lot of land, and then what you're going to do next is set up a ward that will basically block out the windows, black out the doors, so people can't see into your house. Do you want it to just be darkness, or do you want it to be actual solidly something summoned into place? You could summon stuff like that, do conjuration like from the Never Never. It uses ectoplasm, but it could be solid enough that people could not climb in through windows then. I mean, it would literally be like stone appears in your windows.
Yeah, I could do that.
Okay.
And then tie it so it would be triggered if somebody was actually trying to get into the house.
Right. And
when I wasn't there.
Do you want it to electrocute or try and stun people?
So I can do all of this in one session, or do I need to start somewhere first?
Well,
That's what
no.
I'm
I mean,
trying
you
to
could
find out.
when you design your ward, you'll have to figure out how much power you want to put into it.
Okay.
So you could probably put a level 10 ward with this other stuff. It's probably going to require about 20 levels of power to do all this.
So then.
But
yeah.
you got all day.
Yeah.
so
I'll plot it out.
Okay. Are you going to try to start casting this spell?
No, I haven't even plotted it out. I was just thinking that's what I was going to work on.
Okay. Well, you can spend probably an hour figuring out what you want to do, gathering the ritual materials. You're going to have to probably get some items that are a little rarer, so you'll have to buy those. Because what is your lore skill at?
5.
Okay, so you get 15 levels of difference to make up.
Mm-hmm.
So you'll need to find some like special magical ingredients. You can spend some time on it. So yeah, you'll need to write down a list of ingredients that you'll need to buy. That's for sure. So yeah.
Right. Okay.
All right. So you're doing that. It's probably going to take you till about noon to figure out your list, and then you can go shopping if you want.
Okay.
Okay. So you can do that. Okay. Cool. About noon, you probably roll over.
Yeah.
You see that? Yeah. Miranda's got a text on your phone, something like that. About noon, also, you roll up to Darwin's. Darwin, you're sitting there working on stuff, doing the drawings, and you hear. And you've heard that
sound.
Yeah, you do know that sound. Absolutely.
You go into your living room, and there I am in my car and everything, just parked in your living room.
That's right. Yeah, that's exactly right. No, but you recognize the big,
so much.
yeah, the big black car, right? Yeah, you recognize the big black car out front. It's definitely Volt, and you're like, oh, did we have a meeting today? You're kind of like, yeah. So, what are you gonna do? Yeah, Volt's at the front door.
Hello?
Hey, I got you the stuff for the armor.
Oh, that was a quick turnaround. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Spend a little money.
I've got a little money for you.
And he's got some contacts. That's really important. So, yeah, you start grabbing boxes from the trunk of your car, bringing them into Darwin's living room. There's about 4 or 5 boxes. They're full of ballistic nylon, Kevlar, different things like that, metal reinforcements. There's some nice metal scales that you had thought about, and also some pieces of chainmail that you figured, except it's like little half-inch links that are black.
Wow.
And so there's this gel that that you put in the soft parts here that can be used to stop if somebody hitting you or anything like that. Also some plates that you're going to put in there to help with basically knives and people hitting you with a stick, that kind of stuff. So yeah, he brings in about these long packages and all these boxes of this stuff, and yeah, it's got DHL written on the side, all that things. And yeah, there's a lot of it, a lot of stuff. You're not sure you're going to need all of it, but definitely you can put used to it. That's for sure.
I'm just like curious now. Like I'm not a big like buff on dragon anatomy or anything, but
I think he's asking you to take off your clothes. I'm not sure.
I pulled out my pants.
I mean,
Hey! There's wings. No.
Yes. Who knew, right?
Yeah.
no, but like, how well do you deal with like insulation? Like, do you get hot easily? Do you stay cool rather well? Like, I don't.
Am I here for this?
No,
he
he
hasn't
hasn't been to you yet. What is you have? I know Inhuman Might and
Inhuman Strength, Toughness, and Recovery.
So yeah, you don't have any problem with it then.
Yeah, no, that's
Yeah.
okay.
But you don't have to worry about hot or cold to a certain extent because you have recovery and toughness. So
Yeah, because I was sitting there thinking about it. I was like, the weight. Obviously, you have this. Like that.
Right.
That's not. an
yeah, that's
issue.
not
That's
a problem.
But like, how many different layers of things? Like the jelly. I don't expect this thing will breathe very well at all. I was just like,
I might need to shower after.
Yeah. Yeah, you just think cool thoughts. Yeah, that's right.
Flower and ice dragon.
I'm actually an ice dragon. That's right. Yeah, not a letting
we're
dragon.
talking about his entire presence is cool.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's right.
But, all right. That was the only thing that kind of came to mind. But all right, yeah.
Okay.
That's
So
a lot of stuff.
you drop the stuff off. You gonna tell him anything?
Say,
Too
no.
good.
Yeah. It's like, any extra stuff you can have.
Oh. Well, then.
Probably going to be a bit of extra stuff. You're going to have to play around with some of this to see how it works and get it to expand for when he changes shape. So yeah, for sure. Could be fun.
Oh yeah, I'll say, I've got wings, so I don't know how that's gonna.
You're pretty sure you could make your wings extend out through a hole in the back and then form. I mean, you're a shapeshifter, so you've got some control.
Yeah, that's true because it's not like werewolf.
Right. It's not. Yeah. So you think you could probably make it so the wings would extend out the back, but then they're not going to be covered. So you may want to have some kind of armor that you can put over your wings too. I don't know. Not sure how that would work for you.
Yeah. Oh, and I do sprout claws too, so take that into consideration.
Yeah. So you definitely want to have finger holes or something, or removable fingertips, or whatever. Yeah.
Like the
maybe leave
seamstresses
the fingers open.
Yeah. There you go.
where you have him go into dragon form and duct tape his whole body to make a cast.
So what you're telling me is fingerless gauntlets?
Yeah,
That's
that's what I'm saying.
yeah.
A little opening in the back right there. Yeah. Bicycle gloves.
Heck yeah.
So yeah, you've got his measurements and stuff. You kind of grab all this stuff, start pulling things out of boxes and laying them out on the floor, looking at what all you've got. I assume at that point you probably make yourself scarce because he's in full creation mode here, tinkering with things. You're looking at
things.
Yeah, you're looking at how these things bend and flex and how they can work. And this gel is really cool because you poke it like that and it gets really hard. And then you poke it really softly and it lets your finger go all the way.
Oh, it's like an
It's
oobleck thing.
stuff.
Then.
Yeah, it's very cool stuff.
So
you're
6
kind of
hours later.
I'm also gonna scan the air as I get back to my car.
Okay. Doesn't look like anybody's following you at all.
Yep.
Unless they are really, really bad at this. Yeah.
I rolled 3 negatives.
Oh wow. Okay. So
My alertness
Great
is like a
at
2
stealthing.
right now.
yeah. So yeah. No, you don't think you see anybody either. It looks pretty
Coast is
quiet.
clear.
Yeah. Good. I'm gonna get in the car. And you head over to Miranda's. It takes you about 30 minutes probably to get there. She's waiting at the pawn shop, probably upstairs. You go into BJ's pawn shop, and he says, Miranda's upstairs, because he recognizes you, I think. Or you've been there. Yeah, you were looking for her before.
Yeah, one time. Yeah, because that's I got her my number.
Right. So you head kind of up the little stairwell that's over to the side, and it goes up this kind of rickety little stair, and up at the top there's a door on the right and a door on the left. And her door's on the right. It's going to be, probably a cross hanging on it or something like that. So
You can hear the praise and worship music from inside.
I'm definitely in the right place.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
You gonna knock on the door? All right. Somebody's knocking on your door.
I open the door and Miranda is in like what she thinks is like what scuba people wear, an outfit. She's put on like this pair of like sporting leggings, and she has on like a swim top, but also with like a one of those
Zip up thingies. Yeah.
Under Armour shirts that like zip up to here. And
Yeah,
all
right.
that
It's got a little
was-
neck thing right there. Gotcha.
She looks like a Pokemon trainer kind of, and she's got like a backpack.
I want to
and
be
everything.
the
Yeah.
very
She's like,
best.
yeah,
there
these
you go.
people are gonna take me so seriously
That's
when I
right.
get to the shop. And it's like, you ready?
Yeah.
Sure. Okay.
Looks like you're a professional.
That's right.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't want them to try to like look at me and be like,
Ugh, she's never
And
done
then-
this before.
Wow, she's
Try to-
certified.
yeah. I don't want them to try to hype the
Certifiable,
price
right.
up because they think I don't know what I'm looking at.
They just see
Right.
the price of the clothes she's wearing.
Right. You head down to the car, hop in. She gives you a address. It's out in Metairie, kind of on the edge of Lake Pontchartrain, and you head that direction. It's probably going to be about a 30-minute drive. It's not very far. It's right near one of the causeway bridges that goes all the way across towards where the Abita brewery is, that direction. So yeah, you head out that direction. You've woken up. Miranda's sent you a text. You're not sure exactly what's going on.
No clue
It's
what's
something
going
about
on, yeah.
scuba
Scuba
and
and-
treasure, and you'd think.
Yeah.
You might remember her conversation about that she thinks there's buried treasure out there.
Yeah.
Or sunken treasure.
Something, yeah. And, okay.
You do have a gig lined up for tonight.
Mhm.
You also have one lined up for Tuesday in a couple days, so that's something to remember too.
So I get to practice and
Practice.
I realized that I bought guns.
Yes.
I have no place to put guns or hide guns. So
Your trombone case.
yeah. So I might be calling Darwin up to say,
Hey.
Hey, I
need a case.
yeah, I
A good
need
bit of work.
Yeah.
Busy man.
so
Golf bag.
yeah. Or was Dion Waiters had it in a violin case or something?
Yeah, right.
Or El Mariachi in his
Guitar case. That's right. Yeah.
So, yeah.
My name is
That's
Jose,
sure.
and I kill people for money. I
That's
don't
right.
know if that's the same.
No, it's a different one, but it's fine. You run through your scales and probably run through a few songs that you're planning to play tonight. It takes you maybe an hour or an hour and a half. You probably have to drink a little coffee, maybe have a few eggs. There's a little leftover. I think it's the rice and beans that the nice young lady from down the hall left for you. You probably heat that up and throw it in a tortilla or something for something kind of light. After that, what are you going to do? It's probably about 1:30.
I have that video saved. It's so good. The
So I'll
animation.
call Darwin up and see if I can. So ring.
Phone rings.
Probably wait till like the fourth ring before I actually realize things are ringing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hello.
Hey, it's long, man. Did I catch you at a good time?
Yeah. No, things are great.
No, you're having a lot of fun. Yeah, playing around with all the new stuff you got. Yeah, you're having a lot of fun.
So, got some new guns.
Oh, cool.
And so I need a place. So I got an idea. I've got a trombone case
Okay.
and shotgun. So I want you to start thinking
Oh, wow.
about way to conceal shotgun, pistol, and trombone case. What do you think?
With the trombone in the case?
Yes.
Well, I'd have to
I
see
do
the case
play
at that point. That's
Well, all right. Well,
If it's one of those little tiny plastic cases like you had in high school,
Yeah,
there's
yeah,
nothing
that's
through. But
I
if
got
it's a
a
little
good
nicer
trombone.
case, a little
Yeah,
more,
yeah.
padding,
Padding and, yeah.
there's just some ways to
Yeah.
work with that. That's
Yeah.
for sure.
So
Yeah.
yeah, because I don't want my trombone far away from
Right,
me.
right.
So, when's a good time to drop it by?
Oh man, anytime will be fine. I'll probably be here the rest of the day easily.
All right, I'll swing it by in a little bit. I got a gig tonight, so
All right, cool.
All right, so you're going to drop it by, did you say this afternoon?
yeah.
Okay. You don't have a vehicle, so you probably have to take a bus to his house. But there, buses run by there, so it's not a big deal. He lives, you live near Frenchman Street, so which actually is kind of beyond the way to where you're heading
Yeah,
anyway.
yeah.
Sorry, I just imagine Bunk like taking a trolley down, trombone case, shotgun in one hand, and he's like, "Let's go make this work, guys."
Well, he had to get it home from the pawn shop,
exactly.
so he's probably got some kind of case he's
Yeah,
carrying.
okay. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
I assume it's still in something.
plan case,
Right. So you hop a bus. You wind up actually having to transfer to one of the trolleys that takes you down close to Darwin's house. Or no, actually, your house is not in Frenchman Street. Your house
No, it's-
is the Garden District.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
right. So yeah, okay. You definitely have to take a trolley down that direction, or streetcar. Excuse me. So you take the streetcar down there, hop off, walk a couple blocks off of St. Charles, and you're at his doorstep probably in about 30 minutes, 45 minutes. Same old house. You've been here before. Head up and knock on the door.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're in the middle of working on stuff. Another knock on the door. It's probably around 2 in the afternoon. You've got a lot of stuff done. Definitely figured out how you're going to put a bunch of this stuff together.
Cool.
Sure. I do need you to make a craftsmanship roll. You have pretty good craftsmanship, if I remember.
I do.
Oh, remember, everybody
Even with
has
2
their
negatives.
Yeah, that's all right. Does everybody have their fate points, by the way?
I
Yes.
have
I
4
have
in
mine.
front of me. Is that right?
I got 0.
Well, you
We
should have
got-
them back. How many do you normally get?
Already
2?
We got another
Okay.
fate point last game.
Yeah.
I've got 2 total.
Oh, okay.
I spent the maximum amount on creating my character.
I don't remember how many I'm supposed to
That's
have.
still-
I think
You had
it's
gotten some
3.
extra ones. You got some
But
extra
you
So
ones.
you only had
Extra
one
one.
for
Because I had
everything
had the
you got.
phones go out. and
Yeah,
some
that's
things, fun
right.
stuff like
Oh,
that,
yeah.
the computers. So you get how many?
Listen, maybe
I got
the
2.
trifling
2,
name
okay.
on the last.
You got
That's a lot.
All right. So,
Okay. I mean, we'll
yeah,
start
you're
with-
kind of laying stuff out.
I think so.
The door opens, and around the
Sad.
room just looks like a ballistic
Definitely
nylon
not.
factory has exploded. There's pieces of metal. You see things lying on tables. There's things laid out on the couch. There's what looks like Kevlar that's laid out on the floor in a roughly humanoid shape. It's lying on top of this weird black cloth that's kind of somewhat shiny. You notice that he's got a chalk circle drawn around it, and there's a couple candles at each of the in the circle, and looks like he's maybe doing some magical research onto it to see how well it holds spells and all kinds of stuff. So he's in the middle of some huge project. But yeah, he comes to the door, he's smiling, looks like he's having a great time. So yeah.
Hey, Buck, come on in. Don't mind the mess. It looks kind of cultish, but no, everything's cool. It's just,
Not going to sacrifice your children, so we're
it's
good.
just work in progress, work in progress. Oh, so
Yeah.
what you got?
All right, so I show him the case and the gun and say, ideas.
Well, what kind of case do you have? I mean,
The big square,
Okay.
with the padding on the inside. I'm thinking my old Bach case that
Yeah.
I had way back,
Right.
but it's
Fair
probably
enough.
better than that. Yeah. So
you're thinking,
Yeah.
yeah, definitely you could work this out. It'd
Yeah,
probably take you an
that's-
afternoon. Yeah.
Yeah.
In the middle of working on his stuff, you could probably do this when you need a brain break, so it wouldn't take any time. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that should be fine. Oh, you said you wanted both to conceal shotgun and pistol, right?
mhm.
Yes. I mean, pistol shouldn't be hard at all. Shotgun, that should be relatively easy, especially if you have like large sections of padding and whatnot. That's the
Now, the pistol you got, I want to say was a smaller pistol. Was it a holdout?
No, it said it was a 357.
It's a big pistol.
Big
Okay.
pistol. Yeah, I don't mess around with little stuff.
That's right. Yeah, no holdouts. This is a serious pistol. This is for things that go bump in the night.
Is
That's
that
right.
the
Yeah.
like Bunk's theme song is when the man comes around?
Sooner or later, God will cut you down. There you go. So yeah, he shows you the case. Are you going to give him the case? Because you have to carry your.
Well, I just wanted to see what it gives so he can start thinking, and
Yeah.
you didn't have to do it right now.
that's
And
definitely have
is there right if I
idea.
leave the gun
Take-
here when I
take-
go to my?
right.
I could carry the pistol with me, but the shotgun.
Yeah,
might
it's gonna be a little rough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
in that case, just take some quick, dimensions of said case. That's I can just
Caliber
think
that.
about that.
Yeah.
All right, then. That shouldn't be any issue then.
all right. Well, you need any help with anything around here while I'm, because I got a gig down the street and later on. So if
Yeah, your gig starts about 7, so you've got probably 3 or 4 hours to kill.
Yeah.
But you can also go down to Frenchman Street and have a few
Yeah.
beers, and maybe get something to eat, and so you can.
just trying to be polite. I really don't want to.
Yes. I was going to say, like,
I really don't want to help.
There's a lot of grease and oil involved in what he does. Yeah, that's
And
right.
So I'm
Paint and,
doing the nice.
yeah.
Can I help you with anything?
oh, no, man, this is great. It's-
As
Yeah.
you're walking towards the door, can I help you with anything?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I head on down towards the gig.
All right, so you hop back on a trolley in a couple minutes, follow it down or ride it down to Canal Street, and then take a bus. Well, you probably actually walk from Canal down to Frenchman Street. It's not bad. Walk, probably grabbing something light to eat on the way, maybe swinging through the French market to see if there's anything, maybe a new pair of shades or a cool hat to wear or whatever. So there you go. All right, Jody, you're still doing research about.
I've researched what I want.
So
Do you want to hear it?
yes, please.
So I want the award with the. Oh no! So I want alarm at the fence that alerts me when someone crosses it, and I want to be able to see who it is.
Right.
Like I don't know if I have to use my third eye or if I can just.
Well, no,
some
you
kind
can do
of
things like
spine
you can have a
thing.
light. Well, you can have a light. You can have a candle change color. So you can have a
Okay.
candle that turns red.
Okay.
As you need to
No,
keep-
I mean if I'm not nearby.
Oh, that's going to be a little trickier. Mainly because you could probably have something that's tied to it, maybe a stone or a piece of glass that vibrates or something like that. I
But
don't
couldn't
know.
really see. Okay,
Right.
that's fine.
So yeah, you could probably set something up that is tied to it. But yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. So I won't have they can see it, but just know when it happens. And then I do want to do the blackened out windows with the ectoplasm,
Okay.
and I want to have dark barking dog sounds
Okay.
and growling.
Ooh.
Easy. Those are just kind of
And I
veils.
figure, since I know about werewolves, it can make them super scary sounding.
Mhm.
And I want it to suddenly get me unnaturally cold, it gives people shivers, like they really don't want to be there.
Right.
Maybe the creeps.
Okay. So
So
you,
kind of instill
you can make
fear.
it be unnaturally cold. Okay. Yeah. You can't mess with people's minds to make them want to
Hey, I
not
don't
be
want
there.
the devil man coming to my house.
No,
again.
You can't mess with people's minds to make them not want to be there because that's manipulation of
Okay,
people's
well, I'll
brains.
just
That's
make
not
it
allowed.
unnaturally chilly then.
Right.
Um,
Do you want it to freeze them to your front porch?
no, but I do want electrocution on the windows
That
and
could be
the
funny.
and the door.
Okay.
Next time,
And
Miranda
then,
comes
if they
out
do
of the
manage to get
casserole,
in,
it's gonna be.
I want to have kind of like
That's
a
gonna be amazing.
quicksand floor
Mhm.
with a binding spell,
Okay.
so they
So-
get stuck and can't.
So what I'm hearing here is that you probably want it if the alarm around the lot goes off, you can choose to arm the house,
Mhm.
and if you arm the house, that's when all of these things start. Okay, so you'll have electrocution on the windows and doors. They also go
I
solid.
can't see. Yeah.
They'll basically go solid for probably 24 hours, and then when that's over, then everything goes away and the ectoplasm turns to slime, and so it'll be kind of gross, but then everything will be back. And then you can make the quicksand floor to a certain extent. Probably what it'll do is just kind of open up, and when their feet go through it, it'll slam down and grab them,
Okay.
kind of like a
Sounds
trap.
good.
So yeah, you can do that. Now, again, that's going to cost probably about 24, 25 levels of power. You can handle 5. So you're going to need lots of rare items. You're probably going to need to do a little shopping. Where are you planning to get those items is the big thing.
Well,
You're probably going to need
Outcome.
a limb from a tree that's been struck by lightning for the electrical thing. You're probably going to need some all kinds of stuff like that. So
I don't know. I'll probably try the
gold dust for the ring that goes around your land. Yeah, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, I'll probably try like the voodoo places or places I know that delve into like alchemical stuff too.
You can definitely try Marie Laveau's. She did have some stuff that was pretty good. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff for the rubes, but there's also she had some legitimate stuff there. So you know that Marie Laveau's is kind of behind Jackson Square, so you can head downtown, catch a bus or a streetcar and head down there. Okay, cool. So you're heading that way. You guys have headed out towards Metairie. You get to basically where the bridge that runs across Pontchartrain is that heads north towards Abita Springs, and there's this little, looks like concrete and cinder block building. It's kind of got a slightly sloped roof, and it's got the little dive symbol flag out front of it. It's got glass windows and a glass door, typical kind of setup on a little shop. There's a small parking lot. There's a bunch of other places that basically are restaurants and things along those lines. There's some houses and residential stuff. So this is kind of a shop that's kind of out of the way. You head up to the door. You park, of course, head up to the door, push it open. It has a little bell that goes gling, gling, gling as you come in. And inside, there's all kinds of stuff. There's wetsuits. You can see that there's scuba tanks. There's the face masks, flippers. There's snorkels. There's wakeboards. There's all kinds like you would use at the beach. There's swim trunks. There's bikinis. All kinds of swimsuits. So you get the feeling that this person who owns the shop kind of does a little bit of the scuba and a little bit of just the beach stuff.
Yeah.
There's also fishing supplies on one wall with fishing poles, both cane poles and nice rods and reels. You hear kind of a bubbler from one of the back corners where maybe it looks like they've got some minnows for bait. So there's this place kind of has it.
One-stop shop.
Yeah, right, for kind of all this stuff. You get the feeling that there's probably not a lot of call for any of this stuff. So the person is diversified, so they have all of the stuff. Behind the counter, you see this guy. He's got what looks like a skipper's hat on. He is skinny, rail thin. It's kind of patchy gray and black beard, and he's wearing glasses. And he goes, what can I do you for?
Oh, we're just browsing. Right.
Yes.
Looking in for anything in particular?
Just trying to look super casual and not like super impressed or anything. She's like,
You're going to need a
okay.
deception or a deceit roll. Let me see if it's deception or deceit.
Oh, wow.
These are not my forte. I think I
was
have
gonna say,
nothing. in
deceit.
deception.
It's a deceit roll.
Yeah, that was just wrong.
She like locks her display while she's big hands.
I got a 2.
It's all right. 3 minuses, so you're okay.
Okay.
He says, "Oh, not anything in particular, huh? Are you going to the beach? You headed to Biloxi or somewhere? What are we looking for here?"
We're maybe thinking about doing like an anniversary scuba trip, right, honey?
Yep. Totally.
Yep.
He
We were
goes-
just thinking about doing
He
that.
kind of looks at you guys, and he says, "Well, have you chartered a boat then? Where are you planning to go scuba diving? You're going to Florida, right? Maybe
Oh,
swimming with the manatees."
well, we did that last year.
Yeah, we're swimming with the sharks this year.
Yeah.
So Bahamas, maybe something along those lines.
Yeah,
That's pretty
Cayman
interesting.
Islands or something.
Well,
Something.
Well, if you're wanting to swim with them, a lot of places down there will rent you the scuba gear, and it's a whole lot cheaper just to rent it down there rather than taking it with you.
We rented last year, and we just loved it so much that we were like, we're probably going to do this a lot, so it makes sense
Oh.
for us to have our own gear, you know?
Oh, okay. So probably something more along the lines of scuba gear then. You're dive certified?
Oh, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Can't you tell?
Mm-hmm.
And I.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. He goes, you're going to need a deceit check on that one.
Can I assist by zipping and unzipping my
Maybe
Scratch
not.
check.
Mhm.
All right, don't be bad.
I will give you an assist. You get a +1, okay?
Ooh, so that's a 2 total.
He kind of looks at you and looks at them, looks at you, looks at her, looks at you, looks at her. And so you got a +1 from her, so that's
2 total.
still 2 total.
Yeah.
He goes, well, look, if you decide you want to become dive certified, and he reaches over onto the counter and hands you each a business card that says diving classes, $100 for certification, $150 for deep dive certification, $250 for cave diving certification. Captain Mike can get you where you want to go. Yeah.
Oh, Captain Mike.
Yeah.
Okay, Captain
And he
Mike.
says,
Does he have a name tag on?
this is Mike.
Okay, all right.
Captain Mike. Oh, I'm sorry, not Captain Mike. Let's call him Captain Ron. That's even better. Captain Ron can get you where you want to go. So, yeah.
We're on. Well, we're gonna take a look around. We'll hit you right back up.
All right, cool. If you need anything, let me know. I'll be back here over behind the counter. And he heads back around. Well, he really hasn't come out from behind the counter. He just kind of goes back to looking at the computer screen. He's got a little computer back there that it's
Okay.
his cash register. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna be honest. I don't lie a whole lot. I don't know how
Yeah, me
well that
either.
went. Okay.
I just persuade with these.
I didn't know a lot of things about diving until just now when he was like talking and stuff. So
Maybe we should ask him what he would wear.
right. Well, and also I'm now thinking it might be better to rent, and if we got dive certified.
Huh, you just put the mask on, you hook the hose up, and go, right?
Yeah, you're right. That's a waste of money. I'm trying to go the officious route. So if we know like when we're going to do our treasure hunt, then maybe renting would be cheaper than buying. But if we buy and we don't find it the first time, we can keep going.
You
back.
never know when a scuba suit's going to come in handy.
You know what? It's just a thing that people should
Utility,
have.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's-
Burning building,
Broaden your skin
outer
off.
space.
You never know.
Outer space.
We may
Yeah.
want to go see the manatees, like as a group.
Right.
We could
Right.
go get-
Barbara Manatee.
All right.
Sorry. All right.
So,
Barbara, one for
we'll just start kind of looking around. Is there anything
Yeah.
with like cool colors or?
Most of the dive suits or the scuba suits are blues or black. There's one that's kind of a hot pink. But most of them are pretty standard
That's
black,
not
blue, and
described.
hot pink. I mean, there's a couple of them, and they're not one size fits all. They have different sizes and measurements and things like that. He's got several sets of scuba gear, masks. He's got masks with built-in snorkels. He's got the all-around masks that have, like the one snorkel there that hook in, which gives you really nice ability to see. You're kind of looking around at him. You've been doing this for maybe 15 minutes, and Captain Ron comes walking over. He says, "So, you decided what you're looking for yet?"
I need some help.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, where are you going diving? Are you doing, Bahamas, or are you talking clear water or dark water diving?
Brackish.
Yeah,
More
probably
brackish water.
Brackish. What I'm really looking for, is it going to be clear, or is it going to be dark water?
I'd
It's
say
gonna be dark.
Anywhere in particular? You river diving or river swimming or something like that?
Lakes.
Lakes.
Kind of doing lakes.
He looks at you guys and says, "You're not going diving in Lake Pontchartrain, are you?"
I don't
No,
know
who would
what
do
that
that?
is.
I don't know who would do that.
Because that's pretty. Well, Pontchartrain's pretty shallow. I mean, I think in some places it's only about 6 or 7 feet deep.
Where's the treasure at?
He
Okay, all right.
says it's a pretty shallow lake, so if you're going there, you really don't even need a scuba suit. You really just need a snorkel. Unless you're planning to get into some of the other areas, that are really, really dark. The big thing is that Pontchartrain's really hard to see. It's lots of silt and dirt, and you're going to have trouble seeing anything down there.
Hypothetically, if someone were
Hypothetically, yeah.
what would you suggest if they were looking for something?
Well,
How would they?
Well-
Seeing's kind of an important part of it.
right. So, where are you thinking of going in Pontchartrain? Are you just,
just in general, like a lot of things
Yeah.
get
Lost.
lost after storms
It's like
and stuff
a-
like that. So we
Treasure hunt.
Well,
Yeah, it's just kinda like a
he reaches behind him on the wall, and he pulls up a couple thumbtacks, and you can see he's got this huge dive map of Pontchartrain, and it's got all the different depths and stuff like that, and where the buoys are, and some things like that. And he lays it out.
Please
He
do.
lays it out on the counter in front of you, and he goes, "So are you where? Where are we talking about here? I mean, we near the river
Where
mouth."
haven't you been?
I've been to I don't go diving in Pontchartrain,
No.
but
Oh.
because you can't see anything. I've done diving in Florida, I've dived off the Keys, I've done Bahamas, a lot of areas in Mexico. Shellhaw's beautiful, but if you're dead set on diving in Pontchartrain,
Hypothetically.
you're going to need some bright lights. So you're going to need some flashlights, and I've got some underwater flashlights for that.
Yeah.
You're really not going to need much more than. You're probably not going to want to snorkel too much, because you don't really want to inhale or get. Yeah, he says so. You can do that. We may need some scuba gear if you get to some of the deeper areas.
Yeah, someone might want to touch the bottom.
Okay, but remember, Pontchartrain in some of the deepest areas is only about 12 feet deep. So
Oh.
you could really, really all you need is kind of a face mask, maybe some flippers, a weight belt, and flashlights. You can dive 12 feet pretty easy.
Sounds cost efficient.
But it depends on where you want to go, whether it's deep or shallow. So again,
Can I, from memory, because I have studied my little maps
yeah,
so
you know
much,
where it is. You pretty much
Can I
tell.
see if there's any markings or any indication on the map that he's showing us?
You can see
in
that
that
it's,
general area.
yeah, there's an area. Well, if you remember correctly, there's an area that's about probably, I don't know, maybe not a mile, maybe about a quarter of a mile off of the edge of Pontchartrain, and the number that's scribbled there is 12 feet. So it is one of the deeper areas, but yeah, it's
All right, so yeah, just in general, let's say we're gonna go to like the 12-foot areas.
All right, sure. Well, you need a charter boat to get out there, because you're gonna need a boat. He walks over and he grabs a couple pairs of flippers, and he says you're gonna need a couple pairs of flippers to swim down. He says you're gonna need a face mask and probably a snorkel or something like that. and he puts those on there. So he says, "Wait, do you want the full face mask? I mean, since
Yeah, I
you're
don't want anything in my.
yeah,
I like
okay."
the
So he
full face mask.
takes those
Those
back, and
on
these are the big. They're kind of like fishbowl face masks almost,
Ooh, you can
and
talk.
they've got a snorkel that comes out here, so you can see pretty well. He says,
Columns.
"You're gonna need some underwater
down.
lights, probably the really high ones." And he grabs a couple of those, and these things are like
We're
this
about to
big, and
sell
they're LED
Team
lights.
Yeah, sure.
He says you're gonna need a weight belt, and he grabs a couple of those and puts them on there. Let's see. If you're doing it soon, it's cold because remember it is
We'll need full
November, right?
ammo.
He says you're probably going to need a wetsuit because it's going to be pretty chilly unless you're going to wait until it gets warmer out. Or no, did we say it was October or November? I think it was
November.
November.
Yeah, I thought it was
So it's pretty.
November,
It's still cold. I mean, it's cold. It's cold for down here. You know.
Probably
Yeah.
doesn't
So you
have
still
that.
probably want if at least a light sweat scuba suit. And so he grabs a couple. He looks kind of at you and puts one in. Looks kind of at you and takes this one back and gets a bigger one because you're kind of a beefy boy.
Yeah, just a little bit.
And he says, "All right, let's see. We get 2 scuba suits, 2 blah blah blah." And he comes, that will be $1,500.
I'd take out
You
the
know-
check and
Well, you probably pull out your bank card and just
yeah, okay, I
Yeah.
do that then.
that's nothing for you.
Okay.
I mean, that's like.
When we get the treasure, obviously.
Well, he says, "Well, did you want a charter service? You're going to need a boat to get out there. I mean, unless you want to buy a boat, which I think is a terrible idea. If you're just taking one trip."
I'm gonna whisper.
Okay.
One second. I'm gonna bring you back there where you
Okay.
can't hear whisper.
Yeah.
I could just fly us out there.
Yeah, but I don't want to be like, we have a dragon. You know what I'm telling
But
you.
if we don't have to tell them that.
Yeah, that's right.
We'll say we're good. We have a boat.
I just maybe I'm feeling like oversharing because I lied earlier and I feel really bad about that. Okay.
And we do it at night so nobody is knows.
Yeah. We'll tell them. We'll get back with them because we might.
Yeah.
Right. He says, "Okay, well,
You come
sure."
back and he has like a little thing, Captain Ron's charter boat service.
Actually, that's exactly what he does. He hands you a different business card that says Captain Ron's Charter Boat Service.
How excited is he?
Yeah, no, I've been sus
About the
of fact-
$1,500. He's pretty,
About like does he seem really eager to charter us out to Lake Pontchartrain?
well. I mean, you get the give me a report check.
Does he sense adventure or does he sense business?
Give me a report check. That's gonna be the big one.
So +3.
Oh.
You get the distinct feeling that this guy just wants to make sure you get where you're going safely.
Okay.
He
He
Yeah,
seems
we
like
don't know.
he seems like a genuinely honest.
If he was giving me pirate vibes,
No,
I'm like,
no.
no, I was gonna be like, heck yeah, come on with the boat, But
No,
if
but
he's
you-
not for adventure, then
Do you get the feeling that he honestly wants to make sure you get out there and back and not be
He
injured?
thinks we're
or
gonna
something?
kill ourselves.
Oh, right, he
Yeah,
really
does.
does. He's kind of a little concerned, and he's kind of like, if I go along with these folks, maybe I can keep them from dying. So, you get the feeling he's kind of a nice guy, actually. He probably doesn't get a whole lot of business because, scuba, Lake Pontchartrain, nobody swims there. 1,500 is probably a good deal of money for him right now. So,
yeah,
you get the feeling he's kind of a nice guy.
yeah. Let's go ahead.
All right.
So,
He says, so he hands you the card. Yeah, he hands you the
Yeah.
card and says, if you need a charter boat captain, I've got a nice boat. Small boat, but, it's a nice boat. And I do charter service, sometimes fishing trips and stuff like that up and down the rivers. And nobody really fishes in Pontchartrain, but, we do go out there sometimes.
yeah, just
So, yeah, give me a call. My number's on there if you need me.
All right,
sure,
appreciate
for sure.
it.
He says,
do-
appreciate your business. And he kind of starts folding this stuff up and putting it in, these big bags. It's kind of big bags. And puts everything in there, hands them to you, and says, let me know. All right.
All right, have a good one.
excited about this. Oh my god.
Yeah, you got all this stuff. You're like, well, take it, put it in the trunk of the car. So it's a lot of stuff. But,
Oh.
definitely.
Do they have any of those little foam pontoon things, like that you can tie your keys and stuff to?
Oh wow!
Are you going to run back in and check?
Yeah.
He goes back in. You come back in. He says, so did you need the charter service?
we'll get back. We will definitely.
Oh, okay.
Get in
Well, what
touch
you
with
need?
you about that. I'm looking for those like little foam pontoon things that you can put.
He
your
reaches behind the counter and pulls one out. It's this bright orange and white one, and it's got a little key ring on it. It's to look like that. And he says, "What's your key ring look like?"
It's for this, and I pull out my sword.
He says, puts that back down there. And he says, you're going to need this. And he hands you this little thing. It looks like, that's what it is. It's an inflatable buoy. And it's got a CO2 tank on it. And he says, yeah, you're going to need this then. Look, if it falls in, you can pull the ripcord on it. It'll inflate and it'll take it right back up. But yeah, that's not going to work for you.
Great.
Yeah. It even has a little light that flashes on it. And you get the distinct feeling that this is maybe like a life preserver. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
That's great.
Captain
All
Ron
right.
is definitely going to the bar to talk about this day.
And he says, and since you just bought a bunch of, scuba gear, I'll throw this in for free. So there you go.
Oh, that's so nice.
Yeah, well,
so nice.
hey, after a nice sale like that, I can afford to be a little generous. Thank you. Appreciate
You know
it.
what? And I kind of clap him on the shoulder and I say, Captain Ron, I think this is the beginning of a great
Friendship? Relationship? Business venture?
Partnership.
adventure.
Partnership. There we go.
Adventure.
He says, "Oh, okay. Well, again,
Yep.
y'all be careful out there." And yeah,
We'll do.
So you guys had been out. She comes out carrying this little yellow thing. It's about this big. It's got a little light on it, and it's got a little CO2 tank and a rip cord, and you pull it. And yeah, anyway, she tells you about what it does. So yeah,
Okay.
Like I didn't want to lose
the sword.
the sword.
Yeah.